It was supposed to be our perfect evening. Candles flickered softly, and my heart raced with quiet joy as Alex smiled warmly across the table. We'd been together 5 years, and despite small disagreements, I was certain we were happy. After dessert, Alex excused himself to take a call. As I reached over to tidy up his coat, something slipped from the pocket onto the hardwood floor. A shiny silver hotel key, engraved clearly. Room 305. My pulse quickened, and a chill crawled down my spine. The candles suddenly seemed colder, the room darker. My perfect evening was falling apart. I quickly hid the key in my palm just as Alex returned, laughing gently, oblivious to my shaking hands. "Everything okay?" he asked, kissing my forehead. I forced a smile, nodded weakly, feeling dizzy. My mind raced. Room 305. Why a hotel? His phone vibrated again, lighting up with a message from an unknown number. "Waiting for you." My heart sank deeper, nausea stirring in my stomach. Who was waiting for him? And why tonight of all nights? Fighting back tears, I took a breath, deciding silently I had to know the truth, even if it destroyed me completely. Pretending calmness was torture. Alex seemed distant, lost in thought as he scrolled through his phone. Questions burned inside me. Was this the first time? Or had he been lying to me for months? My throat tightened painfully. "I'm feeling a bit tired," I whispered finally. He glanced up, slightly surprised, then nodded gently. "Sure, honey, I'll clean up here." I moved toward the bedroom, my footsteps echoing in the heavy silence. Alone, behind closed doors, I pulled out the silver key, gripping it tightly. Tonight, I would confront whatever waited behind the door of room 305, no matter the cost. The drive to the hotel felt surreal. City lights blurred through tears I could no longer control. Questions stabbed at my heart with each passing streetlight. Had I missed the signs? Memories flooded me. Vacations, birthdays, whispered promises under starry skies. All lies? Pulling into the hotel parking lot, I wiped my face and steadied my trembling hands. The key felt heavy, cold in my palm. Room 305 was just upstairs, hiding truths I might regret discovering. Breathing deeply, I stepped into the elevator, knowing the life I'd built could shatter in minutes. But retreat was no longer an option. My heart hammered violently as the elevator doors opened with a cold chime. The empty hallway stretched ahead, silent and oppressive. Room 305 loomed at the end, its numbers gleaming ominously under dim corridor lights. Every step forward required immense strength. Doubt screamed in my head. What if I misunderstood everything? But the haunting message, "Waiting for you," left no room for denial. Approaching the door, I heard muffled laughter inside. My body froze, stomach twisting painfully. Summoning every ounce of courage, I lifted the key toward the lock. The world paused. I had to face whatever awaited me inside. The lock clicked softly, louder than thunder in my ears. Slowly, I pushed the door open. My breath caught painfully. Inside, candles flickered gently. Champagne cooled in an ice bucket. Rose petals scattered beautifully across white sheets. Confusion surged through me, mixing violently with anger. Before I could process the scene, footsteps approached from behind. Turning sharply, my eyes met Alex's shocked, guilty stare. "What are you doing here?" he stammered, panic flashing across his face. My voice shook with hurt and rage. "I could ask you the same thing." Suddenly, a shadow moved behind him and everything became clear. Stepping out from behind Alex was someone I'd never expected. Emma, my best friend. Her face drained of color as our eyes met. Betrayal sliced through me like a blade. Alex's voice broke the tense silence first, desperate and pleading. "Please let me explain." But the pain overwhelmed me. My knees weakened, the corridor blurred, yet somehow I found the strength to steady myself. Tears flooded my eyes. My voice cracked as I whispered, "Don't follow me." I turned, forcing myself to move forward, away from the nightmare, knowing my life had just been torn apart beyond repair. Outside, the night air felt icy against my tear-streaked face. Collapsing onto a bench near the hotel entrance, I buried my head in trembling hands, unable to silence the chaos inside me. Questions crashed relentlessly. How long had it been going on? Was every smile, every laugh between them a hidden betrayal? Anger and grief burned equally, twisting my heart. Suddenly, my phone vibrated. Alex's name flashed brightly on the screen, intensifying my pain. I stared blankly at it, hesitating. Then, impulsively, I hurled the phone away, watching as it shattered against the cold pavement, just like my broken trust. I walked through the city aimlessly, streets blurring together beneath neon lights. Each step echoed painfully inside my hollow chest. Familiar places became strangers, memories now stained with lies. Eventually, exhausted and numb, I found myself standing near the cafe where Alex and I first met, irony twisting the knife deeper into my heart. Through the window, couples laughed warmly, unaware of my silent anguish. In that moment, loneliness consumed me entirely. Who was I without him, without Emma? The life I'd built had vanished. I shivered, realizing I'd lost not just love, but the very ground beneath my feet. Dawn broke quietly, painting the sky with fragile streaks of gold, but my world remained gray. I found myself back home, staring blankly at our photographs, smiling faces mocking me from frames on the wall. Each picture felt like salt in an open wound, proof of a life now shattered. My gaze stopped on a snapshot of Emma and me, laughing, carefree. Betrayal surged anew, bitter and sharp. How could she do this? Angrily, I grabbed the frame and threw it against the wall, glass exploding around my feet. The room fell silent again, echoing only my ragged breathing. Days blurred together in an endless loop of tears, sleepless nights, and painful memories. Alex called repeatedly, leaving countless messages filled with apologies and pleas, each one deepening my wounds. Emma reached out too, but her betrayal hurt even more, like a blade driven by the hand I trusted most. My friends urged forgiveness, saying everyone makes mistakes. But this wasn't just a mistake. It was a deliberate choice. A choice to betray. Anger slowly began to outweigh my grief. In my darkest moment, clarity emerged. I deserved better. I had to find the strength within to rebuild myself. Determined to break free from the shadows, I began packing away Alex's belongings. Each shirt, each book, every small reminder was another painful goodbye. Yet, with every item removed, I felt a fragment of strength return to me. In the back of the closet, I stumbled across an unfamiliar notebook. Curiosity tugged at my heart, despite my hesitation. Opening it carefully, I discovered handwritten notes. Alex's confessions about doubts, fears, and loneliness. My breath caught when I read, "I don't know how to tell her, but something has changed between us." My chest tightened again. Could this betrayal have deeper roots? Unable to stop myself, I continued flipping pages, my heart aching with every line. Alex described feeling trapped, unheard, unnoticed. Guilt crept into my soul. Had I overlooked his pain? Then, near the end, a name appeared repeatedly. Emma. Anger surged again, but this time mixed with confusion. Emma understands me, he wrote. She listens. My stomach churned. Was this betrayal partly my fault? Had I been blind to the growing distance between us? Tears streamed silently down my cheeks. Closing the notebook, I knew the crisis was deeper than I'd imagined. Now, more than ever, I had to confront Alex. We met in the park, a neutral ground, distant enough from painful memories. Seeing Alex again was harder than I'd imagined. He looked exhausted, like he hadn't slept for several nights. We sat silently at first, words heavy between us. Finally, he broke the silence, his voice barely audible. I'm sorry, you didn't deserve this. I held back fresh tears, gripping the notebook tightly. Why didn't you talk to me? My voice trembled with hurt. He looked down, ashamed. I tried, but you never heard me. The truth cut deeply. Suddenly clarity dawned. We'd both lost ourselves somewhere along the way. But was forgiveness possible? After our conversation, days passed filled with reflection. Alex's words echoed relentlessly in my mind. You never heard me. Had my own pain blinded me to his? Guilt wrestled with anger, leaving me emotionally drained. One evening, unexpectedly, Emma knocked on my door. Her eyes were red from crying, her voice trembled. I betrayed you and there's no excuse, but please hear me out. My instinct was to slam the door, but something held me back. I stepped aside silently, allowing her in, knowing that facing this conversation might finally help me heal, or break me completely. Emma sat across from me, hands trembling. Her voice cracked as she began. I never planned this. It started with conversations, innocent at first, but soon we both crossed lines we never should have. Anger tightened my chest again, but I forced myself to keep listening. He felt like he'd lost you, Emma whispered, eyes filled with remorse. And I was too weak to refuse the closeness he sought from me. We convinced ourselves we weren't hurting anyone. Her honesty cut deeply. For the first time, I saw her clearly, broken, regretful. Though forgiveness felt impossible, understanding began to soften the edges of my pain. After Emma left, the quiet enveloped me again, but now something had changed. My pain hadn't disappeared, but clarity began to emerge. I realized we'd all become prisoners of our own loneliness, suffering in silence instead of openly communicating with each other. That night, sleep finally came, calm and dreamless. When morning broke, the world seemed different, lighter somehow. I understood clearly now. Their betrayal wasn't a reflection of my worth. It was a symptom of deeper problems we'd ignored. And though my wounds remained, I felt ready, at last, to reclaim myself. Over the next weeks, I slowly pieced myself together again, discovering strength I never knew existed. I spent evenings alone, journaling, reflecting, and forgiving, not for them, but for my own peace. Alex occasionally texted, always careful, never pushing. One afternoon, sitting by the river where I often went to clear my thoughts, I saw him approaching cautiously. My heart sped up, anxiety flickering briefly, but quickly settled. He stopped a short distance away, waiting for permission. Meeting his uncertain gaze, I nodded softly, signaling him to join me. It was time to face the past and finally let go. Alex sat beside me quietly, the gentle sound of the river filling the silence. Finally he spoke, his voice sincere yet hesitant. I've hurt you deeply, and no apology can fully mend that. But I've learned how much damage silence can cause. I never stopped loving you, I just forgot how to show it. His words resonated deeply within me. I turned to face him, calmness replacing the turmoil I'd carried for so long. We both lost our voices, I replied softly. Maybe this had to happen for us to truly understand ourselves. Our eyes met, forgiveness bridging the distance. In the months that followed, Alex and I chose separate paths, not out of bitterness, but in pursuit of growth we both needed. Forgiving him and Emma didn't mean forgetting. It meant freeing myself. I discovered strength, resilience, and above all, self-love. Looking back, I realized the betrayal wasn't the end. It was a powerful beginning. Pain had taught me to value open communication, to never again take love for granted. Standing confidently on my own, I knew I was ready for whatever life brought next. And that was my greatest lesson. The deepest wounds can create the strongest hearts.